it's impossible to walk around here. Believe it or not, some cities are home to more than 40,000 people per square kilometer, creating a scenario where buildings multiply vertically to accommodate the growing population. Today, you'll learn about 15 places that are so crowded that you'll probably feel claustrophobic. Curious? Join us and let's go. Number 15. Mexico City. Let's start by talking about Mexico City, which is emerging as an urban giant in North America, occupying a metropolitan area of 7,866 square kilometers with 21.6 million inhabitants. The historic center preserves the Aztec heritage through archaeological sites, such as Templo Mayor, while modern skyscrapers dominate the financial district of Reforma. The population density of 2,700 inhabitants per square kilometer creates a unique urban dynamic where traditional markets such as La Merced coexist with modern shopping centers. The metro transport system, one of the busiest in the world, transports more than 4 million passengers daily through its 12 lines. The canals of Xochimilco, a UNESCO cultural heritage site, preserve ancient agricultural practices through chinampas, artificial islands of cultivation. The city is home to more than 150 museums, standing out as one of the main cultural centers of the Americas, with renowned institutions such as the National Museum of Anthropology. Number 14. Jakarta. The Indonesian capital, spread over 664 square kilometers, is home to a population of over 10.6 million, creating one of the largest human concentrations on the planet, with 16,000 people per square kilometer. Rapid economic development has transformed the former Dutch colonial city into a powerful financial hub in Southeast Asia, attracting global investment and hosting the region's leading corporations. Jakarta's bustling streets are a mix of modern skyscrapers and traditional markets, with historic neighborhoods and a mix of high-rise buildings. The city serves as Indonesia's main business gateway, handling 70% of the country's financial transactions. The Sudirman Business District is home to hundreds of multinational corporations, while the historic Kota Tua neighborhood preserves 17th-century Dutch colonial architecture. The rapid growth has brought significant challenges to urban infrastructure. The city is sinking about 25 centimeters per year due to over-extraction of groundwater, making flooding a chronic problem during the monsoon season. The public transportation system, although expanding with the metro system that opened in 2019, still struggles to meet the growing demand of millions of residents. Number 13. Levallois-Perret. Levallois-Perret, located on the outskirts of Paris, is recognized as the most densely populated suburb in France. With an area of just 2.4 kilometers and a population of approximately 65,000 people, this small commune has one of the highest population densities in the country. This high rate is a reflection of its strategic location close to Paris and the economic opportunities it offers, especially for professionals working in the French capital and looking for a residential alternative. The city is characterized by its vertical buildings and compact apartments, which maximize the use of space. Despite its high density, Levallois-Perret is well organized and offers quality infrastructure, with an efficient transport system that includes trains and buses, making it easy to get to the center of Paris. The city stands out for its pleasant urban aesthetic, with well-distributed squares and parks that provide spaces for leisure and relaxation amidst the daily hustle and bustle. However, the high cost of living is a reality for residents, especially due to rising property values. Levallois-Perret has one of the highest rental rates in the country, making housing unaffordable for many. Despite these challenges, the local government is constantly investing in urban development projects, seeking to improve the quality of life for residents. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 12. Kathmandu. In the heart of Nepal, Kathmandu is an extraordinary example of how an ancient civilization has adapted to modernity without losing its cultural essence. The population density of 20,000 inhabitants per square kilometer transforms the sacred valley into a unique urban mosaic. Buddhist and Hindu temples dot the cityscape, with incense scenting the narrow streets of the historic Tamil neighborhood. Local commerce is organized in vertical galleries, occupying every available square meter, with shops selling handicrafts, fabrics, and spices. The city developed its own water distribution system through traditional public fountains, known as Dungid Dara, which still supply part of the population today. The Ashan Market, one of the oldest in the city, remains a vital commercial center where Nepalese, Tibetan and Indian merchants trade traditional products amidst the crowds. Number 11. Dhaka. Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, with around 15 million people living in a relatively small area. This rapid population growth is driven by industrialization, especially in the textile sector, which attracts workers from rural areas in search of better living conditions. However, rapid urban growth has created major structural and environmental challenges for the city. The city suffers from heavy traffic, with endless traffic jams being part of the daily routine of residents. Public transportation is insufficient and often cannot meet demand, leading many to use rickshaws and other informal means of transportation. The air in the city is highly polluted, a result of the large volume of vehicles and the smoke released by industries, which directly impacts public health. In the housing sector, population density has led to the emergence of high-occupancy neighborhoods, where homes are small and often house multiple families. Many areas of Dhaka also face sanitation problems, and flooding is frequent during the monsoon season, worsening living conditions in vulnerable areas. To address these issues, the government is implementing urban development projects and investing in transport and health improvements. But the challenges of overcrowding and infrastructure remain enormous. Number 10. Giza. Giza is home to 4.5 million people who live alongside monuments that date back 4,500 years. The Haram neighborhood has grown vertically in recent decades, with residential buildings reaching 20 stories. The Mohandesan business district is home to modern businesses and business centers, contrasting with historic areas such as Nazlat El Semen. The current urban sprawl covers 85 square kilometers, putting pressure on protected archaeological sites. The Giza Plateau is home not only to the famous pyramids, but also to a necropolis with more than 600 ancient mastabas. Rapid urban development has resulted in an overburdened infrastructure, with roads capable of handling 2.1 million vehicles daily. The city receives 14 million visitors annually, generating a vital tourism economy for its population. Number 9. Vijayawada. With a population of over 1 million people in an area of just 61.88 kilometers, this city faces a real challenge in balancing growth and quality of life. The local economy, based mainly on trade and agriculture, has driven the migration of workers, making Vijayawada a hub of opportunity, but also putting a strain on its infrastructure. The pressure on transport, health and sanitation systems is evident. The city faces heavy traffic, with vehicles and pedestrians competing for space on the narrow and congested roads. The lack of a metro system makes matters worse, forcing people to rely on crowded buses and rickshaws, resulting in longer commute times and increased pollution levels. In terms of housing, high demand for housing has led to a real estate boom, causing prices to rise, while many areas face a shortage of land for new construction. Number 8. Karachi. On the coast of Pakistan, Karachi is one of the largest urban centers on the planet, with 15 million inhabitants spread across 3,527 square kilometers. The port city, responsible for 42% of Pakistan's GDP, has undergone drastic changes in recent decades due to the intense flow of migrants. The informal neighborhoods, known as Kachi Abadis, are home to around 60% of the population in precarious conditions. Karachi's urban infrastructure is showing clear signs of overload. The port of Karachi, the country's main maritime gateway, handles over 65 million tons of cargo annually, causing constant congestion on access roads. The electricity supply is subject to daily interruptions, affecting industrial productivity and the quality of life of residents. The city's social fabric reflects its demographic complexity. Karachi is home to diverse communities, including Muhajirs, migrants from the partition of India, Pashtuns, Sindhis, and Balochs, each maintaining their own distinct cultural traditions. Rapid population growth puts pressure on public services, with only 60% of the population having access to clean drinking water on a regular basis. Number 7. Lagos. This Nigerian megalopolis, spread across a strategic peninsula, is home to a significant population of 13 million inhabitants, creating one of the densest urban environments on the planet, with 6,800 people per square kilometer. Lagos is undergoing rapid urban transformation, with new neighborhoods emerging almost every week on the outskirts of the city. The informal market accounts for about 65% of the local economy, with street vendors and small traders occupying virtually every street and corner of the city center. In traditional markets such as Balogun and Alaba International, thousands of people circulate daily in search of products, ranging from electronics to traditional African fabrics. The Port of Lagos, the largest in West Africa, processes more than 1.5 million containers annually, establishing itself as the continent's main commercial gateway. Current urban infrastructure only meets 40% of the real demand for basic services, resulting in significant challenges for residents. In peripheral areas, entire communities rely on private generators for electricity, while piped water systems serve only 60% of the population. Public transport, dominated by informal buses known as Danfo, transports more than 12 million passengers daily in poor conditions. Number 6. Nanjing, home to 8.5 million people across its vast 6,587 square kilometers. Nanjing is developing as a hub of innovation, with more than 50 high-tech industrial parks employing over 2 million people. The Xinjiakou district has 100 shopping malls in a single area, creating the largest retail complex in eastern China. Nanjing's public transportation system includes 10 subway lines stretching 378 kilometers, carrying 3.5 million passengers daily. The city is home to 89 universities and research institutes, including the prestigious Nanjing University, which attracts 500,000 students from all Chinese provinces each year. The city's industrial sector produces 30% of the country's semiconductors, establishing itself as the region's leading technology hub. Investments in green infrastructure have resulted in the creation of 220 urban parks, covering 15% of the city's total area. The historic district preserves 1,800 years of history, with 50 temples and monuments protected by the government. Nanjing's economic development zone processes $100 billion in exports annually, cementing its position as a strategic economic hub in the Belt and Road Initiative. Number 5. Tokyo. In the Kanto region, Tokyo sets new paradigms for urbanization with its impressive 37.4 million inhabitants spread across 13,842 square kilometers. The metropolitan region incorporates several satellite cities, forming a highly integrated urban complex with a public transportation system that carries 40 million daily trips. Tokyo's urban layout demonstrates exceptional efficiency in the use of space. Underground shopping malls, known as depachika, maximize the use of urban land, while residential buildings incorporate advanced anti-seismic technologies. The Shinjuku district is home to the world's largest transportation hub, with over 3.5 million daily passengers. Technology permeates every aspect of urban life in Tokyo. The city's selective waste collection system divides waste into 10 different categories, achieving recycling rates of over 77%. The city maintains extraordinary levels of public safety, with crime rates among the lowest in the world for a metropolis of its size. Number 4. Mumbai. Mumbai has one of the highest population densities on the planet, with 32,000 people occupying every square kilometer of its territory. In the financial district of Nariman Point, mirrored towers touch the sky, while luxury shopping centers such as Phoenix Market City and High Street Phoenix Mall attract affluent consumers. The Malabar Hill neighborhood is home to sumptuous mansions and high-end apartments, with prices ranging from $150 to $200, exceed millions of dollars. In stark contrast, Dharavi stretches over 2.1 square kilometers, housing more than 1 million people in makeshift housing. In this region, small recycling and handicraft industries generate an informal economy that generates around $1 billion annually. Mumbai's urban infrastructure faces colossal challenges. The rail system carries 7.5 million passengers daily, while the road network supports 3.37 million registered vehicles. Number 3. Macau. In the heart of the Pearl River Delta, Macau has become an extraordinary example of vertical development. In its 32.8 square kilometers, 680,000 inhabitants share space with more than 40 casinos and luxury hotel complexes. The population density of 21,700 people per square kilometer has shaped a unique architecture, where ultra-modern residential buildings mix with Portuguese colonial buildings. The 261-meter-high Grande Lisboa has become a symbol of this impressive verticalization. Traditional neighborhoods such as Taipa Village preserve historic mansions, while new districts such as Cotai showcase billion-dollar developments. The gaming industry generates annual revenues of over $37 billion, making Macau the world capital of casinos. The public transportation system serves 1.2 million daily trips, including residents, and 35 million annual tourists. Number 2. Mogadishu. In the heart of Somalia, vibrant Mogadishu pulsates with a unique intensity, establishing itself as one of the densest urban centers on the African continent. The Somali metropolis, which stretches across 127 square kilometers, is home to an astonishing population of 2.7 million inhabitants, resulting in an extraordinary population concentration of 21,000 people per square kilometer. The urban landscape of the capital reflects a remarkable transformation since 2012, a period marked by the strengthening of local security and the significant return of Somali citizens from abroad. The city's economic strength is manifested in a thriving traditional market where local traders trade in a variety of products, from aromatic spices to modern technologies. Historic neighborhoods preserve traditional Somali architecture, while new commercial and residential developments gradually change the urban landscape. The port of Mogadishu, crucial to the regional economy, handles hundreds of containers daily, connecting Somalia to international trade. Demographic projections point to significant population growth, with estimates of 3 million inhabitants by 2025, driven by investments in infrastructure and the development of new commercial hubs. Number 1. Manila. In the Philippine capital, life pulsates intensely 24 hours a day, with a population concentration of over 42,000 inhabitants per square kilometer. The night markets of Divisoria and Quiapo transform the streets into open-air shopping centers, where thousands of people walk among colorful stalls and makeshift shops. The public transportation system includes the famous jeepneys, decorated minibuses that wind through the narrow streets, transporting passengers at affordable prices. Manila Bay, one of the largest in the world, is home to one of the busiest ports in Asia, which is essential to the local economy. The residential neighborhoods have a unique characteristic. The houses are built so close together that they form a continuous urban grid, where the roofs seem to meet. Which of these places shocked you the most with the number of inhabitants? Tell me in the comments below. Now, I have a gift for you. Are you seeing this video that is appearing on the screen? I separated it especially for you, so click here and go check it out right now. Well, that's it, and until next time, curious.